Builders are throwing around rate buydowns and closing credits like it's confetti right now. 2 to 3% here, design upgrades there. Sounds great on paper. But here's the thing, that headline incentive, it's often baked into the base price. And if you don't know what to look for, you could leave thousands on the table, or worse, close on a house that has problems hidden behind fresh drywall. I'm going to walk you through exactly what Taylor new construction buyers need to know right now. Pricing, incentives, timelines, inspections, and the stuff builders conveniently forget to mention when you're sitting in a sales office. So let's start with what you're actually going to be paying. New builds in Taylor are trending between $120 to $145 per square foot, depending on the finish out level and the lot size. Communities like Castlewood South have homes starting around 1,400 square feet with monthly payments advertised in the $1,100 to $1,200 range. Now, that's assuming specific loan terms and credit requirements. So for context, in comparison to our larger metro area, new construction runs closer to $180 to $200 per square foot for the same finish out. So Taylor still offers real value, especially with Samsung Semiconductor facility driving job growth and infrastructure investment into the area, meaning roads and infrastructure are growing. But affordable is relative. So run your own numbers. Don't just rely on the builder's monthly payment calculator for what fits for you. Now let's take a look at incentives. This is where it gets interesting. A typical builder incentive package in Texas right now runs about $8,000 to $25,000 in combined value. This is looking at rate buydowns, closing credits, design upgrades, lots of options here. The most common structure is a 2-1 temporary buydown. This is where your rate drops 2% the first year, 1% the second year, and then you're locked into your rate for the remainder of the 30-year note. On a $350,000 loan at 6.5%, it's going to save you about $300 to $500 a month initially. But remember, at the end of the 24 months, that's when it runs out. So here's what builders don't necessarily advertise. They often inflate the base price by about 2 to 4% to offset some of those buydown costs. Most incentives require you to use the preferred lender in-house with the builder, which can come up with a higher origination fee that may eat into your actual savings. So my advice here with any new build situation, run both scenarios side by side, builder lender versus outside financing. Now run it over a 7-year window. Sometimes walking away from an incentive and negotiating a lower base price can get you further. And if you're already under a contract with a builder, make sure you get any rate buydown or closing credit confirmed in writing. There's some large corporate changes that have taken place recently, and there's something to think about. When you go into the sales office at the end of the month, your incentive package could look different than the beginning of the following month. So make sure you're locked in to the incentives that you're seeking. If you're going in at the end of the month, be prepared for them to change the first day of the next month. Now, let's take a look at timelines. Spec homes, these are already under construction. They're close to being ready to go. Typically close in 30 to 60 days. To be built homes, you can plan for 5 to 8 months and possibly add a buffer for weather delays or if there's possibly a material shortage. If you're selling a current home and buying a new construction, the timing mismatch can be a big challenge. This is where you have built-in contingencies. Know your lender's rate lock terms and don't assume that the builder's projected completion date is guaranteed. It is an estimate. If they end up finishing their project faster, you could end up having to stay somewhere temporarily. Or if you end up not being able to sell as quickly, you could be locked into something where you're having to start paying on a home that you're not quite ready to move into. Make sure you try to get your ducks in a row as best as possible. Now, this is definitely a non-negotiable when it comes to best practices. Get an independent phase or outside inspection. Not a requirement, but definitely best practice. I'm talking as soon as they go to pour the slab, framing, drywall, These are all of the things we want an inspection done throughout the process if possible. And then the final inspection, you can bring in a third party after or right before we go to closing, after construction is complete. Now, this is something that you want to keep in mind. It is going to be an out-of-pocket expense. But why? Why is this so important? Is because once that drywall is up, you're not going to be able to see framing. Once the slab is poured, you can't check the plumbing. Builders have punch list processes, but their inspector works for their company, not for you. Now, most of them have your best interest in mind, but you want to make sure that you catch any small things before it becomes bigger problems later. Now, if there's slab cracks, improper framing, HVAC ducting problems, these are expensive to fix after closing. Now, there's usually a warranty in place, but you want to try to catch them so it's less of a headache for you. Keep a running punch list throughout your build. At the 10-month mark, do a full walkthrough and submit any warranty claims before the 1-year structural warranty wears out. So it's nice to know that you have that as a backup just in case. So a few line items that surprise buyers, let's dig into that. Impact fees. Water and sewer connection fees in Taylor can add up to $2,000 to $4,000 to your closing costs. You want to double check these up front. They're not always included in the builder's estimate, and they are not fun to navigate when you get slapped with that in your closing costs. HOA, there's also some rules here. Make sure before you sign the restrictions that you read through it. Fence height, shed placement, driveway materials, if you can park your RV or not. These rules are enforceable and violations mean fines. If you want to paint your house one day, or if you want to make some adjustments and add shutters, can you do that or not? Let's take a look at appraisal gaps. In fast-moving markets, comps can lag behind contract prices. If your appraisal comes in low, you're either bringing cash to the table or renegotiating, okay? Make sure you plan reserves accordingly. Now, let's take a look at fiber and power planning. If you work from home or have high-tech needs, confirm conduit placement and panel capacity during framing, not after. Adding capacity later can be expensive, and it may also void your warranty. So you want to make sure to prepare for that ahead of time. Finally, think about your exit. Samsung's presence in Taylor is a long-term demand driver, but not every lot benefits equally. Prioritize homes near Highway 79 access or walkable amenities like parks, retail, or schools. These hold value better and sell faster when the time comes. Taylor's trajectory looks strong, but buy with resale in mind from day one is always my suggestion to help buffer or protect you later on. If you're serious about new construction in Taylor, I've put together a free checklist covering everything that we've talked about. Inspections, incentive questions, timeline planning, you name it, it's in there. Link is in the description, and if you want current incentives and move-in ready specs sent straight to your phone, text NEWBUILD, all one word, NEWBUILD, to the number in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.